The 26th day of full-scale war in Ukraine. More than 3,000 civilians have already died in Mariupol. It is a city in the south of Ukraine, not far from the border with Russia. It is impossible to say the exact number of dead, as people are buried in mass graves, often without names. And due to constant shelling, it is impossible to remove the bodies of the dead from the streets and from under the rubble. What I saw, I hope no one will ever see. These are the words of the Consul General of Greece in Mariupol, Manolis Androulakis, the last European Union diplomat evacuated from the city.
Mariupol θα μπει σε μια σειρά πόλεων, οι οποίες σε πολέμους καταστράφηκαν τελείως. Δεν χρειάζεται να τις αναφέρω. Είναι η Γκερνίκα, είναι το Κόβεντρι, είναι το Αλέπο, είναι το Γκρόσνι, είναι το Λένινγκραντ.
On March the 21st, more than 20 buses with children tried to leave through green corridors but came under enemy fire. 4 children were hospitalized. 2 are in serious condition. In addition, the Russian Ministry of Defense issued an ultimatum. They said the evacuation of civilians would be possible if Ukrainian defenders laid down their arms and left Mariupol. This appeal was also sent to the United Nations. However, both international organizations and the Ukrainian leadership are well aware that this is just manipulation by the Russian Federation, which is holding people hostage. Therefore, the ultimatum was rejected.
То треба нас всіх знищити, тоді їх ультиматум буде автоматично виконаний. Наприклад, віддайте нам Харків, да? Наприклад, віддайте нам Маріуполь, віддайте нам Київ. Ні Харків, ні маріупольці, ні кияни, ні президент, ми не зможемо це зробити.
Mariupol has been under blockade for 22 days. More than 300,000 civilians still remain there. Invader bombs fall on the city every 10 minutes. The Russian occupiers have practically wiped the city off the face of the earth. 2,389. This is the number of children that the occupiers illegally took away from the temporarily occupied districts of Donetsk and Luhansk regions to Russia. It happened in one day, March the 19th, according to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine. Such actions are a huge violation of international law and show signs of abduction. By destroying homes and killing the parents, the Russian Federation deprives Ukrainian children of parents' care and puts their lives further in jeopardy in Russia.
During the 26 days of the full-scale war, the enemy killed 117 Ukrainian children and more than 150 were injured.
On March the 21st, the Russian military opened fire on civilians in Kherson. It is a regional center in southern Ukraine bordering the occupied Crimea. Unfortunately, the Russians managed to temporarily capture the city. However, Kherson residents actually go out every day to protest against the Russian invaders.
Домой! Домой! Домой!
In response, the occupiers began firing, throwing light and noise grenades and firing tear gas. According to the locals, 2 people have been injured. They have been hospitalized. Several more Kherson residents have been illegally detained by the occupiers. The Russians are trying to intimidate the city, but citizens continue to go to rallies and chant, "Kherson is Ukraine." 5 civilians have been killed. At least 10 have been injured. Such a terrible result of the shelling of Russian aircraft and artillery in Avdiivka. This is a city located 13 kilometers away from the occupied Donetsk.
Авдіївка – це місто пенсіонерів і дітей, і вони з ними воюють.
The Russian army is destroying schools and houses and intends to raze Avdiivka to the ground. Residents of town of the Luhansk region, a lot of which have been occupied by Russia since 2014, also suffered from shelling the previous day. The invaders opened fire on a children's hospital in Severodonetsk. As a result, the roof caught fire. Fortunately, everyone was evacuated. He survived Nazi concentration camps and died from a Russian missile. In the photo, 96-year-old Boris Romanchenko. He was a prisoner of the Nazi camps of Buchenwald, Peenemünde, Dora and Bergen-Belsen. He died last Friday, March the 18th, in his own apartment in Kharkiv from the enemy missile explosion. The grandson still cannot take his grandfather's body to be buried because this area of Kharkiv is being actively shelled by the occupiers.
Where can you find a safe place if your city is under siege? Is it an usual residential building? No. In hospitals or schools?
Третья больница, Mariupol. Роддом.
No. In a theater, the heart of your city. Far away from any military objects. Yes, that's a good idea. Is there any other way we could warn Russian pilots about kids hiding in the theater? Yes, capital letters, in Russian. That way we will definitely be safe. But only if murdering our children isn't their goal.